Hello and welcome back to BlueTube, and today we're trying something a little bit different for you guys, albeit a bit late. It's week 3 in the championship, but before, why not? Let's start with some championship predictions. We'll try and keep this up for as long as we can, make it as competitive as we can. We'll keep a bit of a tally, won't we, Dad? As we go on week by week. Yeah?
Yeah, we'll write it all down and keep on top of things like we always do.
Because, you know, as Dad always says, we've got such a wonderful knowledge of the championship. This is just a bit of fun, guys.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
Who is it we're supporting again?
Right then, so how are you?
This is my
anyway?
latest top. This is that I brought. It's right up to date.
Yeah? How you doing?
All right, thank you. Very
Yeah.
good. Looking forward to the championship again this week, which starts on Friday night this week, isn't it?
Yeah, with who?
Derby against Bristol, which is
See,
written on my
look,
iPad
he knows
here.
He does know something. He
Yep.
knows his bits and bobs.
Yeah, Bristol just next door to Birmingham, and Derby up there in Scotland. Perfect.
Right, okay. So how do you want to go about this then? Do you want to go first on the Friday fixture, or do you want me to kick us off?
I don't mind. Yeah, I can go straight in because I'm just sort of I've had a good look at these and I'm sort of trying to keep on top of all the matches. It's just great to be back in the championship for us as Blues fans, isn't it? Because
Are you stalling right now?
I'm not. I just wanted to say because being back in the championship, I was having a conversation with someone last week about everyone's heading for the Premiership and it's great to be top flight football and Blues haven't been there as much as people think we have, as Birmingham that is. But I just love the championship football.
Yeah, do you know
I think
what?
it's its
Yeah.
own thing. It's good old British football. It's the place to be for a true historic, English UK team.
For competitive football, there's no other place to go. It's the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
place to be, watching a team.
We
Two
watched
teams in the championship.
Premiership
clash.
games and Championship games on Saturday, both of us. And when you watch the Prem games, no disrespect, but some of it can be absolute it's like watching football chess, isn't it? Whereas the Championship's just got that little bit more edge to
Bit
it.
more of a bite there.
Obviously,
isn't
it'll all
there?
change when we get up there.
Right, go on then.
And I don't want to sound disrespectful to it, but I do enjoy
You already have.
the Championship.
Everyone's clicked off by now.
Yeah,
Go on,
good.
start off with
Good.
Derby and Bristol.
Right, Derby. Well, Derby, we know, have been scoring a few goals. I mean, they scored 3 at home against Cov
Yeah.
last week, which was a fantastic game. It's one that I managed to watch most of, like the extended highlights on that. And Derby are unlucky, but I tell you what, for me, their problem is, and I don't want to knock Sanderson, who is a defender there currently on loan from Blues, but gave away a bit of a dodgy penalty, didn't he? And
We saw that as it happened, didn't we?
did,
It was
didn't
just
we?
like, oh,
And I feel for
proper
him because I
head in your
loved
hands
him
moment.
to bits. I do, and I do wish him the best. But defensively, they really need to get it together. So,
Yes.
and Bristol have not done bad at all. I mean, they didn't score last weekend, but they won in the Carabao Cup midweek before that, and then they won the week before that. They got a cracking result, didn't they? I'm trying to think who they beat on the
4-1
first
against
game.
Sheffield United.
Yes, who are having a bit of a struggle at the moment, aren't they? But know that they can come good. So I think it's potential to be a few goals there as well. So I'm going to play fairly safe on this though, but I'm going to go for a scoring draw, and I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I think I've got a few similar things to say to you. Of course, a crazy result against Coventry just gone, and I feel as though you've touched on this. We have to apologise for Dion Sanderson. As obviously, as you mentioned, he gave that penalty away for Coventry in that game. But I'll defend him though. He's a good player. He's got
He is.
ability, and of
He
course,
has,
John
definitely.
Eustace has signed him multiple times. Now, signed him for Blues, signed him for Blackburn, signed him again for Derby. And if there's anyone who can get a tune out of that player, then it is that man.
Yeah. Good player in there.
But going on to Bristol, so
Yes.
obviously battering Sheffield United on the opening day 4-1. I know we're going back a bit there was a game in between that, but I think that game in particular had a lot more to do with the fact that Sheffield United aren't doing very well at the moment, as opposed to Bristol City being really, really good. Although it's just my opinion, it might not be the case. They've got Gerard Struber now, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in charge. And from taking over Liam Manning, it must have been a massive blow to a lot of Bristol fans, considering they just got into the playoffs with this man, and unfortunately missing out for him to then go to a championship rival. That must have stung a bit. So I do hope that they do well. But as far as this fixture goes, I think considering the last 2 games for Derby and they've shipped 8 goals against, that Eustace now will really be getting a rocket up the backside of his team and just pull them over the line. They've got a home advantage, and so with all of that being said, I'm going to go Derby 1, Bristol City 0.
Fair play, good shout.
Shall we move on to Saturday?
Yes, indeed.
I can kick us off here. So we've got Charlton Athletic v Leicester City. Both these teams haven't started badly. I would say that Charlton are slightly edging it. A result against Watford and a draw away to Bristol. Compared to Leicester's defeat to Preston North End. I mean, and they had a win against Sheffield Wednesday, but and no disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday, I think they're bottom of the table as recording this video. It's kind of seen as a bit of a free hit, isn't it really, with how torrid things are going at that football club right now. I think there's a lot of pressure on Leicester this season, and obviously they've been in a little bit of trouble with their transfer business and things away from football. Charlton Athletic, though, being at home, will be
Has that been concluded yet? Do we know what's going on with Leicester, or is that still up in the air then?
I think it is. I don't think that they've had their points deduction yet. No, I don't think that's been finalised, but it's certainly looming over them.
If there is a points deduction, is it a definite thing? I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens with this, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, with that hanging over your head, you just want it sort of sorted now, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I think Nathan Jones as well, a decent manager at home. I think he's going to be able to get a draw here. I'm going to go for 1-1.
Well, I mean, yeah, Nathan Jones, I tell you what, he knows how to rile his players up. He knows
I'm
how to
surprised
rile
you're
the
saying
opposite
that,
fans
considering
up,
how
doesn't
much
he?
you hate him.
Well, it is just the nature of the bloke. He knows what he's doing, though, doesn't he? When you look at it from a neutral point of view, the guy knows what he's doing. Charlton at home, difficult team to beat, horrible place to get to for Leicester, which isn't similar distance away, really, going down into London. I think Charlton could probably teach Leicester a thing here. I'm going to go for like a bit of a wild card one here, because I think Charlton could get a result against Leicester at the moment.
Okay.
I really do. I think they're going to be really difficult. I think they can, they've got a half decent squad and they'll have home advantage. I think it'll be a close call, but I'm going to go 2-1 as a bit of a wild card to Charlton.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want to move on to the next one then?
Yeah, I mean, I'll fire this off. I mean, Hull been struggling again, touted to be like one of the teams to go down this season, and Blackburn, well, we've seen the fire in their belly, haven't we, from Blues last week. Although their recent run of results, even through to like their friendlies, haven't been good. Lost to West Brom 1-0, lost to Bradford in the Carabao Cup 2-1 at home, and obviously lost in injury time when we equalised with a 90th minute penalty, and then went and scored in the 98th minute. They're really going to want to step on.
They are,
And they've got, I mean, they're strong in midfield, they're strong in defence, they've got a decent keeper, decent management. I think it's going to start like coming good for them. I think they're just too strong to be going on a run like this and continuing to lose. Hull, on the other hand, although they got a decent win against Oxford last week, and high scoring game, 5 goals, eventually finishing 3-2 to Hull against Oxford. 3-3 draw against Wrexham before that, and then no goals against Coventry, which you class with the way Cov are playing at the moment as a bit of a result, really. Cov are strong contenders as well at the minute, and it was away at Coventry as well. So I think that could be, if I was going to put my neck on the line, I'd give it Blackburn closely, probably 1-0, but wouldn't be surprised if it was a 0-0 or a 1-1, but officially 1-0 Blackburn for me, away win.
Wish I'd let you just choose whatever now, for God's sake. Yeah,
if I took it off,
you took it off me. Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree that Hull got a good result against Oxford last week. It's only down to scoring very late. One thing that I did take from that game, I know that in our preview where we spoke about Oxford, I spoke about how poor they were defensively. Hull were awful defensively as well for some of their goals. Don't get me wrong, Oxford, they took their goals well. Lancashire took his well. But I do think there's some question marks at the back for them from what I've seen. Just their centre half, they just seemed a little bit shaky. But up front, they do have a decent striker in Ollie McBurney. Blackburn, they gave us a very, very good game last week. Their pressure was relentless, yes. But going forward, they struggled. I don't think they had many shots on target at all. In fact, I think the only shot they had on target was the goal. If they can capitalise on the pressure, though, I think they'll have more than enough to get the job done. So I'm just going to stick with my guns here. You've took the 1-0 away from me. Let's go 2-1. 2-1 to Blackburn Rovers.
Okay.
All right, so the next I've got on my list is Swansea v Watford. Okay?
Yep.
So I've just made a few notes here. Swansea have been steady to start, losing at Middlesbrough, but of course they've had a fantastic start. They're flying Middlesbrough, aren't they? But then they took all 3 points at home against Sheffield United. The fans seem to be content with how they're playing defensively at the moment, but are in search for a decent striker up top. So we'll see how that progresses from now until the end of the window. Watford, as I've mentioned before, they lost to Charlton on the opening day and beat QPR at home. And it seems they've got a real decent CM on their hands who goes by the name of Imran Louza. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not just calling him a loser. They dictate the whole game against QPR on the day. And this one, I'll be honest, I see them neck and neck. I really can't seem to split it. So I've gone for 1-1.
That's probably a good call.
Yeah.
Swansea, like you say, they got they lost to Borough, but then they went and beat. I know it's Crawley, a division down, 3-1, scoring 3 goals in the Carabao Cup, which was at home. So they've got that little bit more momentum with Watford having lost to Norwich at home. So Swansea, home advantage. It's a long way for Watford to go. It's not the nicest place to go.
No.
I am going to give it to Swansea 1-0.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to make a note of these when we go back through the edit. I haven't planned this out very well, have I? The next one that I've got down, I'll let you lead with this one. Birmingham v Oxford.
Right. Well, we've already done this on our home little preview for this game, haven't we? So I'm going to stick to that. But yeah, I'm not going to dwell too much on the Blues because I'll just probably dig myself into a hole. But just that momentum and that belief that we've got going on down at Blues at the moment, it's made us the team to be hated. It's made us a bit of a bunch of big heads. No one likes the Blues at the moment, do they? Not that they ever did in the past anyway. But we don't care. We don't care because we're just going to go out and just play our game. And I've said that Blues needn't fear anyone in this division. No one's given us good cause or given me good cause to fear anybody in this division as of yet. And that's not being big-headed or being a bit of a, like a lab. But Oxford, though, and I say this a lot in our videos, and Ben's got a special button here for every time I say this. But
Oh God,
there's always a banana skin, isn't there?
right. Brilliant. So you've done it then. You said you weren't gonna.
It's not going to be against Oxford because home advantage is going to be a full crowd. We're starting to score a few goals now. We've got these new players that are still gelling together, and it's going really well considering the short amount of time that we've had them together. There's a lot of unity down at the Blues at the moment, and there's a lot to be positive about. 3-1 Blues.
Okay, don't have too much to add. Just wanted to mention their loan signing Lancashire, Will Lancashire, 20-year-old midfielder. He's from Spurs. He seems promising, but outside of that, I'm not too sure what more Oxford have. And this could really bite us in the backside saying this, but I'm just being honest from what I've seen from the highlights. Lost to Portsmouth 1-0. Didn't see that game. Don't know how unfortunate you were. It's just one goal in it. And conceding late on against Hull, it's never easy. It's always going to sting. Have they just been really unfortunate, Oxford? I suppose we'll find out on Saturday, but I'm really confident. I think we could have been further up the table, to be honest. I think we could have beaten Ipswich. I'm going to go for a comprehensive 3-0 victory at home. We've been strong at home for a very, very long time, and I can see that continuing here. So that wraps that one up. Next one, I'll let you kick us off here. Coventry versus QPR.
Cov, they've scored 5 goals in their last game in an 8-goal thriller against
They
Derby.
also conceded 3, didn't they?
That's exactly what I was just going to say. And QPR have yet to properly click. I mean, QPR were touted as being potential dark horses this year, and it hasn't quite gone that way for them with the loss against Watford at Watford. They lost to Plymouth in the Carabao Cup as well. That was another high-scoring 5-goal game. They lost 3-2 away. And then they managed a 1-1 draw at Preston, which was at home. So there's more to QPR, but I just do think, although Cov defensively might not be 100% yet, will be a little bit strong for them. Cov at home are doing all right. They've got a half-decent following now, Cov. I think they're a team that's going to be up
They're on
and
the
about.
up, yeah.
They're going to be up and about round the top 6 places. I'm sure they're going to be playoffs. I'm pretty sure they're going to. And with Frankie Lampard doing what he does, and to be fair, I'm sort of glad that Frank Lampard's doing well as a manager, because for the type of player he was, we don't often see decent players or the players of that sort of ilk becoming decent managers. But he's sort of turning the table a little bit on that, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, cutting the long story short, I think there's goals in both of them, but I think Cov will edge it, and I'll go 2-1 Cov.
2-1 Cov.
Be nice to see Poku get off the mark. I don't know if he has yet. I haven't really looked into it, but it hasn't quite worked out for him yet, has it? Choosing to go to QPR.
I agree with almost everything that you've said, really. And I agree, I fancy Cov to do very well this year. Over the past few seasons, they've been in and amongst it, haven't they? In terms of, playoff places, getting up to the Premier League, and they've been very unfortunate not to have a little bit more success. Even in the FA Cup against Manchester United, was that last season or the season before? Anyway.
Yeah, we know how that finished. And again, that was down to crap refs again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's getting worse, isn't it, really? Anyway, story for another day. QPR, talking about them a bit, losing to Watford and then getting a draw against Preston. So now they're away at Coventry. I think it would just be a stretch too far, just considering the way that they've started the campaign. So with that being said, I'm back in Coventry. They'll need to tighten up at the back, but I think Frank Lampard's got more than enough capability to do that for his squad. 2-0 Coventry. Right, so I understand that we've got quite a few to get through here, so we're just going to try and rattle through these as quickly as possible.
I'm good at rattling.
So, Norwich, you've proved that. Norwich v Borough. Norwich have obviously recruited really, really well over the summer. Harry Darling and getting the manager, Liam Manning as well, who mentioned previously took Bristol up to the playoff places, weren't so lucky. I think they've done really well keeping hold of Sargent. I can imagine them being up there this season. Wasn't a perfect start against Millwall as they lost 2-1, but I think we could be starting to see them pick up a little bit of momentum here. And then there's Borough on the other hand, after changing hands with Michael Carrick and going with Rob Edwards. It'll be interesting to see how the former Luton Town boss does with Borough this year. Obviously he's started well. I do, however, think the home advantage will have this one, even with Borough's strong start. I'll see it taking them through and over the line. So I'm going to go Norwich 1, Borough 0.
Yeah, Norwich have been strong for a little while now. And probably unlucky not to have sort of made playoffs and, gone through, because they are a really well-run club from what I can see. And they're always there and there or thereabouts, aren't they? So, they're scoring goals, but they're conceding as well. And I know Borough they lost 4-0 at home to Doncaster in the Carabao Cup. But then they went on and beat Millwall, who beat Norwich only the other week, 3-0. So I think this could be a tight one. I mean, Borough, proper footballing team from up north, and good following, but Norwich a really well run club as well. I think it'll be tighter than you think, but I do think Norwich will edge it. What did you go? 1-0.
Yeah, I went 1-0.
I think there's a goal
Norwich.
in it, but I'm going to go 2-1, but Middlesbrough will be unlucky at the end.
Okay, so same line of thinking. Interesting. Right, moving on to the next one. Preston North End versus Ipswich. Do you want to kick us off with that one? Or do you want to go for it?
Well, Preston North End, another good historic footballing team, isn't it? Not done a huge amount recently, but a win against Leicester last week.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That's how this league can be, isn't it? So, and Ipswich have just been drawing themselves to death. But we know there's a squad there, don't we? Ipswich, you cannot rule them out for anything. But Preston North End, another dark horse team again. This will be close. I mean, my mind is telling me I'm looking at another draw here, but Ipswich could get into that frame of mind where if they don't start picking up decent points and start winning games, they could get into that rut.
Yep.
We know they've got it. I mean, they can play decent football. They've still got a decent squad. They've got a fantastic manager, probably one of the best managers in this division.
Yep.
But Preston have got a dogged team that are grinding out decent results, like I've already said, against Leicester. So, I mean, it'd be so easy just to call another draw here. But you know what? I'm really going to stick my neck on the line here. And I'm going to say Preston North End are going to do them because Ipswich are going to have to go for it away from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's goals in Preston. Yeah, I think they could get caught out. I think Preston could do them 1-0.
Right, nice. I like this. Okay, so we're on different sides of the stick on this one. I think looking at Ipswich's game so far, obviously they've played us, and they were fortunate there, but they've also played Southampton. So not to be arrogant here as Blues fans saying this, but I think that it's fair to say they've played two heavy hitters there. So you can see why they've potentially not been able to find their first win, even though that they're away from home. And looking at Preston North End, I know they've beaten Leicester, but Leicester haven't started very well, regardless, have they? And QPR, I don't think that they're necessarily too much of a strong outfit, really. We've already spoken about them before, and we think that Coventry are going to beat them. So I fancy Ipswich here. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 Ipswich.
Fair point.
All right, then, moving on to Sheffield United versus Millwall.
This is a crunch game.
Yeah, this will be very interesting. Be quite telling now. It's at this point of the season where you really start to find what teams are really made of and how their season's going to start to pan out. They've had a woeful start to the campaign, really, Sheffield United, after sacking Chris Wilder and going to Tellez. Having a look around at actually, like across social media and stuff, and seeing what fans have made of it, people are already beginning to doubt Tellez. With others claiming though he's not been backed enough by the board, so it's not really the start in any direction you look.
It's a toughie, isn't it?
For Sheffield United. But going on to Millwall seems to be steady, but their result last week against Borough must have stung a bit. And to go to the Den from a Borough perspective and win 3-0 is not an easy thing to do. I've gone for a stalemate. I know Sheffield United, they struggle to score goals at the minute, and Millwall aren't necessarily known for being the most prolific scorers. So yeah, that's my logic really. I think this one's going to be 0-0, point shared.
Okay, that's interesting because Millwall started like a house on fire, getting a really good result away at Norwich, 2-1. And then, they kept that going in the Carabao Cup by beating Newport, which, only 1-0, but, these smaller teams come and they give bigger teams like Millwall a good game, don't they?
Yeah.
And then it totally fell apart at home, losing 3-0 to Middlesbrough. Sheffield United they're a strong squad that's in a bit of a transitional period. Getting rid of Wilder, I think he really would have done it, and I don't know what the Sheffield United fans think of this, but I really think that he could have done a job for them this year again. More familiarity, the squad that he's got. But I do think that they will pull it round somehow, and I think it could be this week because Millwall, depending on how they react to losing 3-0 at home last week, going away to Sheffield is going to be a tough ask. I think Sheffield United will do them. And it'll be, I think there's goals for both, but I'm going to go 2-1 Sheffield United.
All right, and I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing about how stupid I've been here. Will still be my friend after all these things that I say about Southampton. Next one I've gone for here is Southampton v Stoke. I went against Wrexham for Southampton, although I don't know if you remember this, they scored an amazing free kick. Two really good late goals actually. They were really late in the day, and I suppose you could say that they got a little bit of fortune there with that. They also had a draw against Ipswich at Ipswich. They're good results. But from what I've found out and what people are saying, they seem to be a bit shaky at the back, Southampton, especially Harwood Bellis. That's what I'm finding out. It's coming from their own fans. And Stoke have had a great start. Sorba Thomas, their winger, he's been flying. and they've got 2 wins from 2. Oh, it's a tough one. Southampton are a really strong side, and St Mary's is like a force in of itself, isn't
You
it?
mean they're not at the Dell anymore?
Who?
They're old grown. It's been a few years.
You always really go for these really old throwback references, don't you? Fair enough. I think St Mary's will factor in quite significantly, so I'll give it to Southampton 2-1.
Right, I've gone 1-1 purely because Stoke have impressed, haven't they? They've scored a few goals. They only came unstuck against Walsall in the Carabao Cup. But I tell you what, Walsall are like Carabao Cup specialists, as we found out last year. They always turn it on for these little cup games. But Southampton, I mean, a good draw against Ipswich. They've got this lad. They've got their own little J, haven't they? I can't. What's his surname now? This 18-year-old that's absolutely mustard. Did they equalise?
You're on about Jay Robinson, aren't you?
Yes.
Jay Robinson.
He
Yes,
looks
yeah.
mustard. They were talking about him before the season started, even, and he looks
okay.
a real prospect. So, if Southampton don't have home advantage and go and get all 3 points, I think it will be a close game because Stoke are going to take it to them. They're going to fancy themselves to get all 3 points, but I think it'll end up in a stalemate 1-1.
Will still be your friend? No. I don't even know why I bothered with all that.
Come on, we've got loads to get through. How many we got left to go through?
2.
Oh, all right.
Oh, there you go, yeah. That's a rattle through them quite quickly. We still will, though. We'll keep up the pace. So, I'll let you start us off with this one then. I've done the last 2. West Bromwich Albion against Portsmouth. What do you reckon?
I think West Brom are going to continue with their really strong start. West Brom are having a great start to the season, aren't they?
Yeah.
Neighbours of Blues, so we really shouldn't be bigging them up, but my God, they're doing it well. I mean,
Yeah, you just got to be honest, haven't you?
Yeah, you have. I mean, they've been scoring some goals. They've let a few in, but I can't see Portsmouth coming to West Brom and beating the Baggies. I mean, they lost to Norwich. Portsmouth did last week. They lost in the Carabao Cup the half week before. Yeah, they got 3 points against Oxford. But is that really anything to build anything on? No, not really. Not especially against West Brom, who can only see getting probably 2 or 3 goals. So let's go for a 3-0 home win to West Brom. Sorry, Portsmouth.
Yeah, they had a great result against Wrexham. Isaac Price obviously was the star of the show, but I think Fellows, someone that we're linked with, apparently a Blues fan. Just saying, just putting it out there.
Yeah.
He has also had a really good game for them. I'm intrigued to see how Ryan Mason does for West Bromwich Albion, actually. I think he had a few spells where he took charge of Spurs and didn't do too badly by all accounts. Seems like he's been at Spurs for a really long time, or he was at Spurs for a really long time. Anyway, as a coach. Portsmouth, unlucky, really, against Norwich. Obviously, they missed that penalty. They beat Oxford. I said, and we did the prediction earlier on a few months ago, before the season started. I said that Portsmouth would be right down towards the bottom in my prediction videos. A lot of you weren't too pleased with that. And I think I'm about to make you unhappy again with this week, because I'm going to go for 2, similar to you, Dad, 2-0 for West Bromwich Albion. I think they'll just be far too strong. Nothing on Portsmouth. I just think the West Bromwich Albion are quite the outfit this season, and they always tend to be, don't they?
Yeah. I think it's about there or thereabouts.
Right, I'll kick off the last one for us then. So the last game of week 3, Wrexham against Sheffield Wednesday. I think that this has been the perfect time. It's come around perfectly for Wrexham. They haven't had a great start. I think they've really been, not given any sort of leeway with the Championship. They've recruited really, really well and shown the division they mean business in the transfer window. But quite a few of the players that they've signed seem to be a little bit older rather than younger. They're not prospects, they're more has-beens. Not to say that they don't have ability, but with the pace of the Championship, it's going to be hard for players of that age to keep up. And I think it's showing a little bit, to be honest. But it's only the start. Don't think we can say for certain that those things are the case just yet. on the flip side of that, I think they're just considering the absolute turmoil Sheffield Wednesday find themselves in at the moment. They seem to be a free hit for anyone. I think I mentioned this earlier across the Championship. Doesn't mean that they won't fight and battle. I've seen some of their highlights and they're still putting a shift in. Their goalkeeper seems horrific though. I think it's at the racecourse as well. It's at Wrexham's ground. I think they'll end their losing streak here and they'll finally get their win, Wrexham. I'm going to go for 3-1. Sorry, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, you've got to feel for them, haven't you? I mean, they're having a torrid time, aren't they, down there?
Feel awful for them. They don't deserve it at all.
And I can't see the only sort of prospects they've got. I mean, it's away from home. There's going to be a full packed Wrexham. Is to whether they've got the fitness in like in the squad, because like you say, and you sort of stole my thunder a little bit, Wrexham have gone for these like old sort of pro players, and you see the game petering out for them towards the end, don't you? And it's always at the end of the game where it goes wrong. It's happened 2 weeks in a row for Wrexham now, and whether that will come into Sheffield Wednesday's just grasping at some sort of game plan against them. But now they've got this new lad in, they've got this record signing that came on and did all right, didn't he, the other day for Wrexham? I can't remember his name.
He came from Broadhurst, was it?
That's him.
Came from Ipswich, I think. But he seems to have a few injury problems, though.
Yeah, he's a bit of
a midfield player. I might be wrong there. Let me just
no,
make
I think
sure.
You're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
And, but they are these type of players, and that's seems to be their thing, doesn't it? I mean, it works, and they play a really good game. But you get about
sorry to cut you off. Broadhead.
That's all right. But you get a good hour out of these players, and then it all goes wrong for them. And it's about fitness levels. When some of these Championship clubs now, and Blues are included, they work so hard on the fitness levels, and they have squad depth. Whereas Wrexham's squad even is quite an old squad now, isn't it? So, but I still think, unfortunately, they're going to be or fortunately, depending on which side of the fence you are, they're going to be strong for Sheffield Wednesday, and I can see them scoring a few. So, what did you go?
3-1.
I'm going to go 3-0 Wrexham.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel for Sheffield Wednesday. I'd love to see them start picking it up, but I think things need to change down there, don't they, for them?
It is a shame. We know somewhat what that feels like, don't we?
Yeah, we certainly do.
Right, I think that draws that to a close. If this seemed a bit choppy or clunky or a little bit rusty, it's our first time doing these predictions, and try and build up some momentum with them though, so be patient.
It might be the last.
That's positive, isn't it? Let us know your predictions this week though for the Championship and how you see it all turn out. Are we chatting a load of nonsense, or are we onto something? You decide. But other than that, I think that was dramatic enough. Anything else? Any final words?
No, but whoever you follow out there, guys, whatever happens, have a good weekend, and big it up to your own teams. So I'll be following the Blues down there against Oxford this week. Yeah, Oxford. Yeah, don't turn up.
All right then. Well, thank you for watching as always, and if you like this, please consider subscribing. It really helps our channel out, and in the comment section let us know your thoughts and like the video. Other than that, have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one.